Hey guys, so I thought I'd jump on the stream. I was going to do a video about AI coins, AI picks this evening, but actually, given the fact that Bitcoin is on quite a dump here, nearly $6,000 down, certainly was a minute or two ago, having a little bit of a, well, price is trying to bounce, but it was still 5.5% down on Bitcoin. Then I thought I'd just take a quick look at price action. Obviously, want to be here with you. Understand some of you are probably in some leverage longs or in some obviously long positions on this market, and obviously it can be quite worrying when we see price basically drop and not look back, which is done today. So if we actually go down to the 4 hour, we can see this sell-off pretty much started actually on the hourly. We see this sell-off really started quite aggressively at the US Open, and it has been one, two, three, four, five down candles so far, 5 hours of Bitcoin bloodbath. So, what the hell is going on? Let's try and make some sense of it. So, we've pretty much sliced through 100,000 without much of a fight. We got down through 98,000. Obviously, I was saying today, I thought we could come down to 98,000, potentially down as 97,000. We are smashing through all of our 4 hour moving averages, 1 hour moving averages. We've just got below the 200 on the hourly. So things are not looking too great here as we are, and it's been a pretty red day, but let me just try to calm nerves a little if I can. Obviously, right now, we're trying to hold this 20-day moving average. So that would be a good sign if we could hold that. Obviously, if we could get above our 50-day moving average, that would be even better. Really, I'd prefer to see prices consolidating above this sort of 97, 98,000 level as opposed to coming back down towards 95, 96. We are still above our 618 Fibonacci retracements. That's currently coming in around about 95.8. And we've got this ascending trend line coming in. And this pretty much goes back to start of November. Obviously, that's going to start coming into play if we go much lower. So there are a few reasons to be optimistic still. And obviously, I think if we were to lose this ascending trend line and the 618 on Bitcoin start to come much lower, then of course it would open up a higher possibility that we're probably going to come down and retest these lows, and potentially we'd see prices trade down to around about 92,000, maybe even a 91 handle before prices move back up. At the moment, what we really want to see for obviously a strong market going into the rest of January is for a decent higher low here. And that should set us up for a nice run into the inauguration later on this month. Like I say, I do expect that we still have a chance to be at new all-time highs going into the inauguration. This doesn't change too much. It's actually the NFP we've got on Friday. So that's going to be the job numbers. What we want to see is, I think, fairly strong job numbers still in the US, which is going to give us the indication that we're not going to be going into a recession. And then next week, it's next Tuesday, that's our inflation numbers, PPI, CPI. What we really want to see there is a fairly cool, a lower CPI print. And I don't know if the market is getting a little bit jittery going into this economic data now or not. Struggling to really sort of find a catalyst for this sell-off. There's not really any sort of great news coming out about it. So, yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of de-risking here. And look, I think in the long term, this pullback probably is going to be healthy, provided we can obviously hold these supports here. Like I say, really 95.8 is really the level I want to see hold. I don't really want to see us lose 95,000 on Bitcoin. So let's see where we go from here. Obviously, on this chart, we've got our path. So it's really funny how a lot of the time the price does come back to these lines. Obviously, it happened on the path we did previously when Bitcoin sort of broke out to 108,000. we pretty much virtually followed it to a T. We deviated away from it. We came back to it. We've done the same thing here. We've obviously deviated away from this. We've come back to it. I did say 618 is going to be a danger zone, an area that we might get a reversal. Obviously, we saw that on the morning stream. We saw that we had a bit of a reversal here. And obviously, at this point in time, we've come off all the way back to this line. So let's see. Obviously, I wouldn't want us to go too much lower, but potentially we do. Potentially we do grind down just a little bit lower on here, back to our what will be our 786 if we go the other way. Obviously, our 786 is actually a little bit lower, about 93.7 that is. So this would kind of pull us down into our 618, which is fine. So I think, we could see something like that happening coming into that 618 over the next day and getting a decent bounce from the golden pocket, I think would be the scenario that I'd want to see us play out. Obviously, might not necessarily happen that way, but yes, let's see where we go from here. Sort of just coming back, that would potentially, like I say, the 618 is basically coming in at this ascending trend line. So, do we come down? Do we tag that? Do we even weak below that and then potentially be back on our way higher? I think that's possible. Ethereum. So Ethereum literally giving up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of up move, eroded within the space of about 6 hours, which is obviously pretty hard to take, and it's losing its ascending trend line. So the equivalent trend line that we just seen on Bitcoin, Ethereum is currently trading slightly below. So let's see if we can get back above that. Let's see if Ethereum can get back above its 20-day moving average, back above this ascending trend line. Obviously, we could come lower, we could come down to this 100-day MA. Like I said, on Ethereum, we might even come even lower down towards the 200-day and to this ascending trend line here. Obviously, since the election, we haven't reconnected with this 200-day moving average since breaking through it. So maybe that's what it wants to do. But yeah, I still think Ethereum is going to have a really strong Q1. And like I say, I don't expect this dip to be too sort of long. I think it will be fairly short-lived. I have talked about the approach here is to buy in dips. So me personally, I've added a little bit of Ethereum at these levels. I've also added a little bit of Solana on these levels. Obviously, Solana coming back to test its ascending trend line, also its descending trend line that it had broken out from. So really, I don't want to see Solana finding acceptance below this level. I'd really like to see it close back above $206 to kind of keep the hope alive that we're going to be seeing a strong January for Solana. Obviously, it might want to come down and reconnect. It's got a couple of moving averages it might reconnect with. That's the 20 and the 100-day moving average. So I guess no harm in that, back testing this range and then sort of making our way back above these trend lines and back higher. But yeah, Solana's another one I've sort of picked a bit up of here. I do think this is a good level. It's obviously previously been a significant level for Solana to hold on its way to higher prices. So let's see if bulls will step in here on Solana and hold this level. And of course, Pepe also coming back to retest some lower prices again, coming into an area that was of previous demand. So I'd want to see Pepe really start to turn around here. If not, we might come all the way down to this 1728 area and reconnect with this 100-day moving average on Pepe. So that's it really. I don't think there is like a huge amount to be concerned about here. I think this is really a final shakeout, a final dip before much higher prices. Hopefully, price is going to put in a higher low. I think we're getting close to a low on this pullback. Obviously, we've seen this before where we see quite sort of sharp down moves and then demand comes in and we push up again from there. It's pretty common, right, to see these sort of quite sharp moves down before acceleration higher. So yeah, I mean, it could be the start of something worse. We just have to see how it plays out. But I'm still going to stand by my view right now that the low for January is likely in. Obviously, coming in on the 1st of January. I don't think we go lower than that. I don't see any reason for us to. I don't see any reason to change our bias or change our analysis or to expect that all of a sudden Bitcoin is going to go into a much, much longer consolidation. Um, but yeah, Bitcoin normally does what Bitcoin does, and that tends to be after, a month of consolidation, a month of pullback in a bull market, in a really, really bullish market, it tends to sort of, when it gets going, not look back. So it is a bit of a surprise that we are coming down this low, but like I say, this has been on the cards. This is really just going back to following our path, following the plan. This is totally in line with the expectation, totally in line with the plan. Everybody yesterday was starting to get super excited up here. Everybody that I know is now messaging me, starting to say that what the F's going on. This is brutal. Can't believe can't believe it. Why is it breaking down? Like it's the whole emotional aspect of it, and you just have to remember, we deviated away, we've come back in, we're sort of returning to our mean in terms of the path, and as long as we continue to hold this, as long as we don't take out this low at around 90, 91, 91 and a half thousand, if we keep above this trend line, then I think Bitcoin is going to be absolutely fine. And I'm still expecting bulls probably to step in over the next few hours, likely to support this 618 and this ascending trend line. And if we lose that, we probably come down and look to make a retest here, maybe even a sweep lower before running on higher. I mean, I'm not ruling out us seeing a 80 handle on the price, but I still don't think it's that probable just yet. And obviously, since I've been recording this, Bitcoin is trying to pick up a little bit. It's currently working on its first green candle in a fair few hours, in about 9 hours, right? So you can see from there we've had 10, actually 11. So we've had literally 10 hours of red, and we're trying to put in a little bit of a bounce here. So come on, Bitcoin. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully don't panic. Like I say, I'm layering in here. I'm starting to buy the dip myself. So yes, let's see what happens. Obviously, I'll be back tomorrow morning with the GM stream, and we'll see where we're at then. We'll see if we can get a bit of a bounce and a bit of green tomorrow, and resume the positive month for January after such a good start. So yes, have a nice evening or day wherever you are, and talk to you later. Bye.